The stars looked calm that night. But far beyond, at the edge of the solar system, silence was broken. Alien warships drifted into human space. They were huge, cold shapes made of black steel. Their lights burned red like eyes in the dark. One by one, they appeared until thousands of ships covered the stars. The fleet was so large, it looked like a wall of darkness stretching forever. On Earth, people woke to the sound of alien voices. Every channel, every screen, every radio carried the same message. Humans, kneel or be erased. The word spread like fire across the world. Families froze in front of their screens. Children clung to their parents. Some cried, some shouted in anger. Cities fell into silence, waiting for someone to answer. But no answer came. In the United Nations chamber, leaders sat together in shock. The air was heavy. No one spoke for a long time. Some wanted to surrender to save lives. Others wanted to fight. But none of them had the courage to say it out loud. The aliens were too many, too strong. For hours, Earth remained silent. The alien fleets waited, watching. Certain humans would break. The alien commanders laughed. They are weak. They will kneel. But deep underground, far below the city streets, another meeting was happening. In a hidden command bunker, human generals stood around a glowing table. The table showed the solar system. Every alien ship marked in red. General Harris, an old soldier with gray hair, stared at the map. "They think we are weak," he said softly. His voice was calm, but his eyes were sharp. "Let them keep thinking." "That?" Another general frowned. "Sir, the world waits for an answer. What do we tell them?" Harris turned away from the table. "We tell them nothing. Not yet." Outside, panic grew. News stations showed images of alien warships above Jupiter. Social media filled with fear. People begged for someone to act. But Earth's leaders gave no speech, no promise, no threat. Only silence. And that silence was more frightening than words. The alien fleets grew impatient. Their commanders sent another message. "This is your final chance. Surrender your world or burn." Still, Earth said nothing. What the aliens did not know was that silence was not weakness. It was preparation. Far away, in the blackness of space, something stirred. Hidden stations powered up, sending out signals too small to notice. A message moved across the void, not to the aliens, but to humans. It was a coded signal, carried by beams of light. Few would ever know it was sent. In the bunker, a red light blinked on the table. The coded message was away. General Harris finally spoke again. "The world thinks we are afraid. Let it be so. But when the time comes, we will answer." One young officer looked at him, nervous. "Sir, if they attack first?" Harris stared at the map again. "Then we remind the galaxy why humans should never be pushed too far." Above the Earth, the alien ships tightened their grip. Their fleets spread in formation, ready to strike. They expected begging. They expected tears. They expected fear. Instead, they received silence. But silence was not safety. Silence was not surrender. Silence was the storm building before the thunder. And somewhere in the dark of space, something human moved, something no alien had ever seen before. The aliens laughed, thinking they had already won. But the galaxy would soon learn the truth. Earth was not broken. Earth was waiting. And waiting is the most dangerous thing humanity can do. The galaxy was watching. When the alien fleets entered the solar system, news spread across 1,000 worlds. In crowded marketplaces, on shining crystal planets, and even in distant colonies, creatures of every kind turned their eyes toward Earth. They whispered the same words. "The humans will kneel." But not everyone was so sure. In the Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council, alien leaders gathered. The chamber was vast. shaped like a circle of stars, its floor glowing with maps of worlds under their control. Dozens of species sat in their thrones, their voices clashing like thunder. A tall, scaled warlord from the Karzine Empire slammed his claws on the table. This is finished. Earth is only one planet. Their silence proves they are afraid. A slender insect-like envoy clicked his mandibles in doubt. Humans are strange. They do not always behave like others. I have studied them. Sometimes silence hides something else. The warlord bared his teeth. Nonsense. They have no fleets, no empire, no allies. We will crush them, and the galaxy will forget them. Laughter filled the chamber. Some aliens mocked Earth as primitive. Others bet how many days it would take before humans surrendered. But a few kept their silence, watching carefully, their eyes uneasy. While the council argued, Earth was not idle docked deep beneath mountains. Inside hidden bunkers, the leaders of humanity gathered again. The air smelled of steel and electricity. Giant screens filled the room, showing alien fleet positions in real time. General Harris stood at the center. His face was grim, but his voice was calm. The aliens believe our silence means fear, but fear is not weakness. It is focus. Around him, commanders exchanged worried glances. One spoke. "Sir, the world is growing restless. People want answers. Some demand surrender, others want open war. How long can we hold this silence?" Harris placed a hand on the table. "As long as it takes. The longer we wait, the more they underestimate us. That is our weapon." Another commander leaned forward. "And the ultimatum, sir? When do we deliver it?" For a moment, Harris said nothing. His eyes moved to a locked case at the end of the table. Inside was a device no outsider had ever seen. Its screen glowed with strange symbols. This was not just technology. It was a project humanity had hidden for decades. Finally, Harris answered. "We wait until they strike. Then, and only then, do we give them our final ultimatum." The room fell into silence. Every officer understood the weight of those words. Humanity's survival depended on timing. Meanwhile, on the streets of Earth, life trembled between fear and anger. In New York, people stared at the skies, where faint dots of alien ships glowed like red stars. In Tokyo, soldiers marched quietly, preparing defenses. In villages far from cities, families huddled by radios, listening for news. And still, Earth's leaders gave no public answer. The aliens grew restless. In the orbit of Jupiter, their warships formed tighter circles, like predators waiting to strike. Alien commanders sent yet another message to Earth. "Your silence is weakness. We will make an example of you." But instead of fear, their message reached something else: defiance. Across the planet, ordinary humans began to whisper the same words. "We will not kneel." The Galactic Council, still gathered in their chamber, received reports of human silence. The Karzine warlord laughed. "It will not last. They will beg when the first city burns." But the insect envoy shook his head slowly. "No, they are not begging. They are waiting." The words unsettled the chamber. Waiting for what? Back on Earth, deep inside the hidden bunker, General Harris stood alone, staring at the device in the case. It was humanity's last secret. A weapon? A shield? Only a few knew the truth. An officer entered quietly. "Sir, the aliens are preparing movement near Mars. Scouts report unusual activity." Harris did not look away from the glowing screen. His voice was low, almost a whisper. "Then the game begins." For the first time, Earth was not reacting with fear. Earth was watching, waiting, and planning. The ultimatum was coming, but not yet. Timing was everything. Above the skies, the alien fleets tightened their grip. The galaxy laughed. But deep Within the shadows of space, humanity's silence was shaping into something terrifying. The ultimatum was not just words. It was a promise, and when humanity finally spoke, the galaxy would never forget it. The alien fleet did not wait forever. For days they circled the solar system like vultures, their red lights shining in the dark. Earth gave no reply. Humanity's silence spread unease across the galaxy, but the warlords grew tired of waiting. So they decided to strike first. The target was Mars. Humanity's colony there was small compared to Earth, but it was a symbol of progress. Thousands of men, women, and children lived under its glass domes. The aliens thought it would be easy prey. On a cold Martian night, the sky above the colony turned red. Alien warships appeared without warning, sliding across the stars like blades. Their weapons charged with blinding energy. Within seconds, beams of light crashed down onto the domes. Explosions tore through the colony. Metal bent, glass shattered, and alarms screamed across the red desert. Families ran for cover, children crying in the dust. For a moment, it looked as if Mars would be erased in a single breath. The alien commander laughed. This is the fate of Earth. This is their weakness. But then, something unexpected happened. From beneath the Martian soil, hidden doors split open. Towers rose from the ground, their surfaces glowing blue. Defense cannons, long kept secret, came alive with thunder. First alien cruiser was struck before it could fire again. A single blast ripped through its hull, cutting the ship in half. The wreck burned across the Martian sky like a falling star. The alien fleet paused, confused. These defenses were not supposed to exist. Their spies had told them Mars was weak. Yet here was fire, power, and precision. Another blast followed, then another. Alien ships broke apart one by one, scattered across the heavens. Panic spread through the enemy ranks. Inside the colony, survivors watched in awe. A child pointed at the sky as a human cannon destroyed another warship. "We are fighting back," he shouted, tears on his face. But Mars was not alone. From the darkness of space, ships appeared, human ships. They were not large fleets, not massive dreadnoughts like the aliens had, but they moved with speed and silence. Each ship struck like a knife, targeting weak points, vanishing before enemy weapons. Good luck. For the first time in the invasion, the aliens were on the defensive. Their confidence cracked. The alien commander shouted, "Regroup, crush them." But his voice betrayed fear. Within hours, the proud alien attack force was broken. Survivors fled back toward the edges of the solar system, leaving wreckage behind. Mars had survived. The news spread across Earth like fire. Screens lit up with images of burning alien ships falling across Martian skies. Crowds cheered, soldiers saluted, and hope returned to human hearts. But Earth's leaders were not celebrating. In the hidden bunker, General Harris watched the reports. Without smiling, his voice was steady. This was only their test. They wanted to see our strength. Now they know. An officer beside him frowned. "Sir, then why do I feel this was not a victory?" Harris turned his gaze to the glowing map. Alien ships still surrounded the solar system. Hundreds had fallen, but thousands remained. Because they will not forgive this. They will come again, stronger. He pressed a button. The lights dimmed, and the secret device inside the case flickered to life. Strange codes filled the screen, a countdown ticking slowly. "Prepare the message," Harris said. His voice was low, but it carried weight. The ultimatum must be ready. On the other side of the galaxy, in the grand chamber of the Galactic Council, the alien warlords argued once more. Reports of their fleet's defeat on Mars shocked them. The Karzan warlord roared, slamming his claws down. "Impossible! Humans should not have such weapons." The insect envoy clicked his mandibles. "I warned you." Their silence is not fear. It is planning. The chamber filled with unease. If humans could defend Mars, what else were they hiding? But the proud warlords refused to back down. We will. Crush them with full force. No more tests. No more waiting. The galaxy trembled at their words. Back on Earth, the people stood taller than before. The fear that once filled their eyes now burned as anger can resolve. They had seen alien ships fall. They knew humanity could fight. Still, the silence from Earth's leaders continued. No reply, no speech. No promise, only a growing sense of something coming. And then it happened. On every alien channel, across every frequency, a human voice broke the silence. Calm, cold, and steady, it carried across the stars. One more move against us, and you will hear our final answer. The words echoed through the galaxy. Alien commanders froze. Civilians whispered in fear. What was Earth's final answer? No one knew, but everyone felt it. The game had changed. The galaxy held its breath. After Mars, nothing felt the same. Alien. Fleets had attacked with confidence, expecting easy victory, but instead they had tasted defeat. Not complete defeat, no. They still had numbers, power, and weapons. But their pride was broken. For the first time, the galaxy had seen humans fight back, yet Earth remained silent. No celebrations, no speeches, no threats, only silence. The kind of silence that made even the strongest warlords feel unease. That silence ended 3 days later, across every channel. In space military frequencies, civilian networks, even the Council's private line screens flickered. Static filled the air, then cleared. A human face appeared. It was not a politician. It was not even a known leader. It was a calm voice, sharp eyes, a face chosen not for fame, but for strength. The message was simple. We are humanity. You struck Mars. You killed our people. Yet you will not break us. Leave our skies, or face what we have hidden. You have 72 hours. And then the screen went black. No explanation. No details. Just a countdown. Across Earth, people stopped in their tracks when they heard it. Some cried. Some cheered. Some whispered. At last we answered. Across the galaxy, confusion spread. What did humanity mean? What had they hidden? In the chambers of the Galactic Council, chaos erupted. The Karzan warlord slammed his fist. 72 hours? Who do they think they are? One planet cannot threaten empires. The insect envoy leaned forward, his mandibles twitching. Do you not see? They did not beg. They did not ask for mercy. They gave us time to retreat. Murmurs rippled through the chamber. Could humans truly have power to challenge the fleets of entire empires? Some laughed. Others shifted uneasily in their seats. Meanwhile, in hidden bases across Earth, the countdown had already begun. Giant clocks ticked in silence. Engineers worked without rest. Fleets prepared in shadows. General Harris stood before a screen, watching as the timer marked 71 hours, 59 minutes, 10 seconds. His voice was steady. They wanted a war of fear. Now they will learn the weight of our silence. One young officer asked quietly, "Sir, what happens if they do not leave?" Harris looked at him, and for a moment his eyes carried both sorrow and iron. Then we finish this. The ultimatum spread like fire. On alien worlds, civilians whispered of human weapons powerful enough to destroy moons. On frontier stations, soldiers traded rumors of secret fleets hiding in the void. No one knew what was true, and the not knowing was worse than any proof. The alien fleets around Earth did not retreat. If anything, they moved closer. Their commanders mocked the ultimatum. Humans bluff. They bark like small animals. 72 hours will pass, and they will kneel. But unease crept into their voices. Why had humanity waited so long before speaking? Why now? Back on Earth, the people were no longer frozen by fear. They worked, they built, they prepared. Farmers gave food for soldiers. Engineers left their homes to work in hidden stations. Families whispered goodbyes to loved ones going to war. Still, the ultimatum stood. 72 hours. No more, no less. Hour 60, alien scouts moved closer. To Earth's orbit. They expected weakness. They found silence. They searched for hidden fleets. They found nothing. Hour 40. The Council demanded another message. None came. Only the countdown ticked. At hour 24. Alien commanders argued whether to strike first or wait. Some demanded a full assault. Others begged caution. The warlords laughed at fear, but their eyes betrayed doubt. At hour 6. The galaxy itself seemed to slow. All signals, all networks, all broadcasts followed one thing: the clock. And then, at the final hour, humanity showed them. From the blackness of space, ships emerged. Not hundreds, not thousands, only a few. But these ships were unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Their hulls shimmered with strange alloys. Their weapons glowed with silent energy. They moved with grace, like predators that had been waiting in the shadows. The alien fleets watched in silence. For once, they did not laugh. The ultimatum repeated across every channel. Leave our skies, or you will not stand at all. The countdown struck 0. The galaxy waited for fire, but Earth did not fire. Not yet. Humanity was not rushing into war. They had given the galaxy a choice. One final chance. And in that moment, the galaxy understood something chilling. Humanity was not desperate. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was patient. Patience is more dangerous than any weapon, because when patience ends, destruction begins. The countdown had ended. Every eye in the galaxy was fixed on Earth. Alien warlords leaned forward in their thrones. Civilians crowded around glowing screens. Soldiers gripped their weapons in silence. Everyone waited for the fire to begin. But no fire came. Humanity did not launch its fleets in a desperate charge. They did not attack alien ships. They did not scream for revenge. Instead, they waited. Their ships floated in the void, silent and still, like wolves watching a herd. The alien commanders laughed again, though their voices shook. See? It is a bluff. Their ships are few. They are afraid. But deep inside their minds, unease whispered. Human ships did not move because they did not need to dot at Earth's hidden command bunker. General Harris stood with his officers, eyes locked on the screens. Transmit the demonstration, he said. His tone was calm, almost cold. A coded signal pulsed into the void. One of the strange human ships shifted. It turned slowly, its weapons glowing with pale blue light. But it did not aim at the alien fleet. Instead, it aimed at the sky itself. The galaxy watched, confused. And then, in a single flash, everything changed. A beam of energy tore across the darkness and struck an asteroid moon orbiting near Saturn. The rock was the size of a city, solid and ancient. In one moment, it was whole. In the next, it was gone. The asteroid shattered into dust and fire, breaking apart like glass. The explosion lit the system brighter than the sun. Shockwaves rippled across space, rattling even alien warships. Billions of eyes widened in silence. The message was clear. Humanity's weapons were not for show. They were real. They were devastating. In the council chamber, the insect envoy whispered, almost in awe, "One ship, one shot." His words trembled in the air. The Karzan warlord tried to laugh, but it sounded hollow. "Asteroids are not fleets," he growled. "They cannot use that power against us." But doubt had already spread. Back in the bunker, Harris gave the next command. Send the warning, finalize it. Across every channel, the human voice returned. Calm, steady, without anger. You have seen our strength. This is your last warning. Leave our skies, or you will not stand at all. Silence followed. Alien fleets that had once mocked humanity now hesitated. Their weapons stayed cold. Their commanders whispered arguments, torn between pride and fear. Some called for retreat. Others demanded to strike now, before humans revealed more, but no one could agree. The fear of the unknown was stronger than their desire for war. On alien worlds, civilians panicked. Some demanded their leaders withdraw at once. Others fell silent, terrified of what humanity might do next. Back on Earth, people finally stood. Taller. No longer only afraid, they felt pride. Children pointed at the skies and said, "We are strong." Families who had cried in fear now whispered hope. Soldiers who once doubted their chances now clenched their fists, ready for whatever came. But Harris knew better. In the bunker, his eyes stayed fixed on the maps of alien fleets. They have seen our warning, he said quietly. But pride blinds them. They will not all retreat. They will test us again. His second-in-command asked, "Then what happens when they cross the line?" Harris's voice was iron. "Then they will see the final answer." The alien fleets did not retreat. They shifted instead, tightening their formation around Earth. More warships poured into the system. The void became a forest of steel and fire, alien banners glowing red. To the galaxy, it looked like madness. Why stay after such a warning? But warlords did not bend easily. They had ruled with fear for centuries, and they would not kneel to one small world. At the council chamber, voices rose in chaos. Some begged the fleets to retreat, warning of destruction. Others shouted that Earth must be crushed now, before. Their strength grew further. The insect envoy spoke again. "Do not mistake patience for weakness. They did not fire at you. They gave you choice. Refuse that choice, and you will regret it." But the warlords ignored him. Their pride demanded blood, and so preparations for the final strike began. Alien fleets armed their weapons. Human ships held their positions, waiting. The entire galaxy leaned forward, knowing what was coming. Not a warning, not a demonstration, but war. The last warning had been given. The next act would decide the fate of empires. The alien fleet floated in silence. Wreckage of their warships drifted in the dark void, glowing with fading sparks. Their proud banners, once shining across the galaxy, now burned like ash in the cold of space. Inside the alien command ship, fear spread like fire. No one spoke. No one dared to breathe loudly. For the first time in centuries, they had faced an enemy they could not understand. Not just stronger weapons, not just sharper tactics. Something deeper. Something terrifying. Humanity. The last battle had ended quickly. Too quickly. The aliens had entered Earth's orbit with thousands of ships, ready to strike. But Earth did not tremble. Earth did not kneel. Humanity had only spoken a single final line through their ambassador. "This is our last message. Leave or vanish." The aliens had laughed. They thought it was empty pride. They thought it was weakness covered in loud words. But when the humans answered with action, the laughter died. The alien dreadnoughts fell first. Silent beams cut through their shields as if they were made of paper. Then the cruisers followed, torn apart by weapons no alien empire had ever seen before. The sky above Earth turned into a graveyard of alien steel. And still, Earth was silent. No celebration. No cries of victory. No boasting. Only silence. The alien commanders could not understand it. Why did the humans not rejoice? Why did they not shout about their power? Because humanity knew this was only the beginning. The Galactic Council, far away, received the reports. The hall was filled with hundreds of alien species, rulers, and generals. They had always mocked Earth as this small blue planet. They had called humans a primitive species, still young, still weak. Now the hall was silent. The only sound was the echo of the report being read. Entire fleet destroyed. 0 survivors. Earth remains untouched. The council members looked at each other, their faces pale with dread. Some whispered in fear. Others shook their heads in disbelief. A few shouted, demanding more proof. But deep down, they all knew the truth. Humanity had crossed a line. Humanity had given their ultimatum. Back on Earth, the leaders stood together. The president spoke in a calm voice, recorded for all human colonies and for the galaxy itself. We did not choose this war, but we will not be slaves. We will not bow to those who threaten Earth, to those who threaten our children. Hear this. You will face silence. You will face fire. You will face humanity standing as one. The recording was sent across the stars. A simple message, translated into every alien language. We warned you once. There will not be a second time. Across the galaxy, panic grew. Some empires began moving their fleets away from human space. Some began whispering of peace treaties. Some even spoke of surrender before a war had truly begun. And yet not all listened. In secret chambers, some alien rulers plotted revenge. They thought humans could not be that strong. They thought perhaps Earth had used all of its power in one strike. But they were wrong, because while the aliens whispered and trembled, the humans worked in silence. The factories on Earth glowed night and day. The shipyards in orbit produced new hulls, bigger and stronger. The colonies beyond Mars joined the effort. Humanity was no longer building defenses. They were building something greater, not a fleet, not to defend Earth, a fleet to reach the stars. The alien survivors who had escaped the battle carried stories of terror. They told their people about human warships moving without sound, about weapons that cut through matter itself, about soldiers who never hesitated, who never broke. But the worst story, the one that spread the fastest, was this. They did not fight with hate. They did not fight with rage. They fought with silence, with calm, as if they had already decided our fate before the battle even began. And that silence became the most terrifying weapon of all. Far beyond the Milky Way, signals carried Earth's final ultimatum. Some were intercepted by distant empires who had never cared about the humans before. They listened to the short message. They replayed it again and again. The words were not long, but they carried weight like a star crushing itself into a black hole. We are humanity. We stand prepared. We stand strong. Do not test us again. The galaxy, once full of laughter at the humans, now held its breath. No empire dared to speak too loudly. No ruler dared to mock the small blue planet, because they all knew the silence before humanity's next move was more terrifying than war itself. And in that silence, every star seemed to whisper one truth. Humanity had given its ultimatum. The galaxy would never be the same.